Nevada Poetry Out Loud is a part of the partnership grant that we receive from the National Endowment for the Arts. They work with the Poetry Foundation, and by they I mean the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation combine forces to bring this program forward. Anyone in the state can participate as long as they're a high school age student, whether they're in a school, a public school, a private school, charter school, or homeschooled. Each organization that decides to do it, whether it's say it's a high school, they conduct their competition, and then the winner of that moves on to the regional competition.
Good afternoon. My name's Tony Manfredi. I'm the Executive Director for the Nevada Arts Council. Welcome to the 2024 Nevada Poetry Out Loud State Finals Competition. And we're so happy to be back here inside the beautiful Pioneer Center for the Performing Arts. We're celebrating 19 years of Nevada Poetry Out Loud, and this wouldn't be possible without our 2024 financial sponsors: the National Endowment for the Arts, the Poetry Foundation, the Pioneer Center for the Performing Arts, Governor Joe Lombardo, and the State of Nevada Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, and members of the Nevada Legislature. We also thank the Nevada Department of Education, Nevada school districts from across the state, the Estepona Group, SOSU TV, and Reno Type for their support of this year's program. Also acknowledge a few members who are in the audience today that are here with us: Brenda Scolari, the Director of the Department of Tourism and Cultural Affairs; Emmy Kowalchuk, who is the Deputy Director of the department. Thank you for being here. Denise Sewell, the Executive Director for the Pioneer Center for the Performing Arts. Thank you all for being here in support of Nevada Poetry Out Loud and our finalists. Nevada Arts Council Board Chair Jerry Shefzik, who could not be here today, asked me to read these remarks. On behalf of the Nevada Arts Council Board, thank you for joining us in celebration of our 6 participants. These young people are mastering the important skills of memorization and public speaking, and we, as listeners, are reaping the appreciation of their hard work. Their medium is words. Their message is a portrayal of who we are. The words they speak can be powerful, sincere, poignant, emotion-laden, painful, inspiring, nostalgic, beautiful, and much, much more. All are descriptors of the human condition. The students competing today are not alone in their efforts. It's through their continued encouragement and supportive families, dedicated teachers, participating schools, and our statewide team of coordinators that they have arrived at the stage today. The Nevada Arts Council Board expresses our sincere gratitude to the many individuals, organizations, and partners that made this event possible. Thank you also to the dedicated staff of the Nevada Arts Council, as well as fellow board members, for their combined commitment and belief that lifelong learning in the arts is beneficial to all Nevadans. And to each finalist, on behalf of the Nevada Arts Council Board and staff, I offer an enthusiastic congratulations. I want to thank you. Thank you, Jerry, for those wonderful words. And now, on with the show, I welcome our Master of Ceremonies for today's competition, Gail Marie Pallmeyer.
Thank you, Tony, and good afternoon, y'all. As a program of the Nevada Arts Council, Poetry Out Loud is a dynamic educational initiative designed by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation. Since the program began in 2005, more than 4 million students, 76,000 teachers from 19,000 schools across the country have participated. This is due to everyone's hard work and dedication to this program. And I want to thank you all on behalf of the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation. In 2005, when the Nevada Arts Council held its first state finals at the Governor's Mansion, a total of 200 students, coaches, teachers, and parents were involved. This year, in communities throughout our state, over 1,600 high school students in 11 public, private, charter, and home schools mastered public speaking skills, and learned about their literary heritage through the memorization and recitation of classic and contemporary poetry. Let's not forget those 20 teachers whose time and commitment were and are absolutely critical to the success of these students. When you read the finalist bios in the program, you'll note the shout-outs to teachers and coaches, and of course, to parents and family members. The question might arise, why poetry? Poetry allows us to see the extraordinary in the seemingly ordinary, to imagine and connect with the lives of those both like and unlike us, to transform the personal to the universal, to shine a light on injustice and vulnerability, and poetry helps us reach emotional depth, to reach an understanding of what it means to be fully present in the world. I know everyone who participated in Poetry Out Loud knows this already, but without poetry, without words and their many complexities, meaningful connections would be lost. You are the champions of literacy and sophisticated critical thinking. You understand that without language, there is no possibility of song. We are honored today to be in your presence. Now I'd like to introduce our judges for the afternoon. Please hold your applause until all judges have been introduced. And forgive this little bit of a cold. Our accuracy judge today is Suzanne Morgan Williams, the author of many books, including the young adult novel Bull Rider, which won a Western Heritage Award from the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum, represented Nevada at the National Book Festival in Washington, D.C., was a Junior Library Guild selection, and was on the list for the Nevada Young Readers Award. She is a teaching artist on the Nevada Arts Council roster. Our competition judges today are Pan Pantoja, who is the artistic director of the Potentialist Workshop, an experimental performance art venue that produces original plays every month. He is the co-founder and curator of Reno Arts Works, a successful collaborative artist-run gallery, and is an active member of the Spoken Views Poetry Collective. He is also a teaching artist on the Nevada Arts Council roster. Carol Scott boasts an extensive career spanning over 3 decades in various spheres of the arts and arts education. Her multifaceted involvement includes acting, directing, producing, designing, and managing more than 300 productions. Notably, for the last 15 years, she has served as the executive director of the nationally acclaimed Wild Horse Children's Theater in Carson City. Molly Rose Lewis currently serves as a regional representative in the Reno office of United States Senator Jackie Rosen. She holds an MFA in classical acting from Illinois State and a BA in American Studies from Yale. One of her favorite classes at Yale was a senior seminar called The Oral Interpretation of Poetry. Our prompter today is Jesse James Ziegler, current Reno Poet Laureate. Jesse will be following along as the students recite their poems and will assist students when a momentary lapse of memory occurs, if such is needed. And our score tabulator today is Alexis Parsha, with Poetry Out Loud assistant with the Nevada Arts Council. Now let's give our judges and officials a round of applause. Of course, it takes the proverbial village of individuals, organizations, businesses to ensure the success of a statewide program like Poetry Out Loud. Please take some time to look through the program. You'll find the names of schools, educators, coaches, district coordinators, school superintendents, volunteers, donors, and sponsors. Without the support of these institutions and businesses, and those noted throughout the program, there would be no Poetry Out Loud in the state of Nevada. And thanks again, of course, to the Nevada Arts Council staff and the entire board. Thank you. Now, onto the program. It's time to address the issue of cell phones. Please silence your phones. We ask that you do not engage in photography during the competition. Do not use your cell phones to text or record the proceedings. The glow from those screens is a distraction to those on stage who've worked so very hard to get here, and it's also distracting to your fellow audience members. During our breaks, you can text all you want, and we will have photo opportunities at the end of the program. Here is how our competition will proceed. Each student was required to select and prepare 3 poems from the Poetry Out Loud anthology, prepared by the Poetry Foundation and the National Endowment for the Arts. For the state and national finals, students are required to recite at least 1 poem that was written before the 20th century, and 1 that is 25 lines or fewer. Today's competition will proceed through 3 rounds, with each student reciting 1 poem in round 1 and a second poem in round 2. The scores from both rounds will be added together, and the top 3 scoring students will advance to round 3, where they will recite a 3rd poem. Scores from the 3rd round will be added to the 1st and 2nd, which will determine 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place. Students may not repeat a poem they have already recited. The order of recitations in rounds 1 and 2 proceeds in a random order. The students competing in round 3 will be announced and will compete in alphabetical order by their county. All of the poems recited by today's students are listed in your program in alphabetical order according to the student's county. Each recitation will be judged on the following: physical presence and posture, voice, projection, and articulation, appropriateness of dramatization, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. We'll now begin the competition. I will announce the name of the county and the student. Each student will come to the stage and announce the title of the poem and the poet. Judges, you ready? Okay. Again, audience members, please silence your phones. Beginning with Story County, represented by Mariah Mavity.
My name is Mariah Mavity, and I'm representing Story County today. I think poetry is beautiful, and it's an art form, and I really respect people who can write poetry because I can't, and I think it's such a beautiful form of art. It's been kind of scary and exciting all in one. It's definitely out of my comfort zone. I've never done anything like this, but it's really exciting and a new thing for me.
After the Winter by Claude McKay. Someday, when trees have shed their leaves, and against the morning's white, the shivering birds beneath the eaves have sheltered for the night, we'll turn our faces southward, love, toward the summer isle, where bamboos spire the shafted grove and wide-mouthed orchids smile. And we will seek the quiet hill where towers the cotton tree, and leaps the laughing crystal rill, and works the droning bee. And we will build a cottage there, beside an open glade, with black-ribbed bluebells blowing near, and ferns that never fade.
Representing Washoe County, Rayanne Hijazi.
My name is Rayanne Hijazi. I'm from Reno, Nevada, Washoe County. I have some connections to two of my pieces. My first piece is a lot about women empowerment and advocacy for women, and I really connect to that and love that. And then one of my other poems is written by a Palestinian author, and because I'm Palestinian, I found I kind of connected to the poem in that way. I went to state last year and I didn't do so well, but I think this year I'm ready. I feel prepared and unprepared at the same time, but I'm really excited.
What Women Are Made Of by Bianca Lynn Spriggs. There are many kinds of open, Audre Lorde. We are all ventricles, spine, lung, larynx, and gut, clavicle and nape, what lies forked in an open palm. We are follicle and temple. We are ankle, arch, sole, pore and rib, pelvis and root, and tongue. We are wishbone and gland and molar and lobe. We are hippocampus and exposed nerve and cornea, areola, pigment, melanin, and nails, varicose, cellulite, divining rods, sinew and tissue, saliva and silt. We are blood and salt, clay and aquifer. We are breath and flame and stratosphere, palimpsest and bibelot and cloisonne fine lines, marigold, hydrangea, and dimple, nightlight, satellite, and stubble. We are pinnacle, plummet, dark circles, and dark matter, both bent and a constellation of freckles and specters and miracles and lashes. Both bent and erect, we are all give and give back. We are Volta and girder. Make an incision in our nectary, and painted ladies sail forth, riding the back of a warm wind plumed with love and things like love. Crack us down to the marrow, and you may find us full of cicada husks and sand dollars and salted maple taffy, weary of welding together our daydreams, all sweet tea, razor blades, carbon, and patchwork quilts of good God and Lord have mercy, our hands. Remember how to turn the earth before we do. Our intestinal fortitude, cumulonimbus, streaked with saffron light. Our foundation, not in our limbs or hips. This comes first as an amen, a hallelujah, a suckling, swaddled psalm sung at the cosmos' breast. You want to know what women are made of? Open wide and find out.
Representing Carson City, Nasiah Perkins.
I really like to represent the underrepresented. So when I saw a lot of poems that I thought really related to me personally, I really wanted to help spread that message. I actually tell a story with my 3 poems. My first one starts with the oppressed in a sense, and then my second poem, it's an oppressor, and then we can see like an analysis in my third poem, all in all. And so I feel like I'm really showing something. I'm really nervous, but I'm gonna lie to myself and say I'm super excited.
Representing Elko County, Kiara Hernandez Duarte.
My name is Kiara Hernandez, and I am representing Elko High School. I think poetry there's no other way of expressing yourself as authentically. Obviously, we don't write the poems ourselves, but it's just such a beautiful way of communicating and expressing yourself. There's no other way that it's communicated as clearly or as authentically. Speaking in front of people is always going to be nerve-wracking, but I'm really excited. I feel like I've prepared myself for this, and I'm really excited to have my teacher and my parents and my best friend here to support me and means a lot. So I'm really excited to get to perform for them and see everyone else's pieces.
Ars Poetica by Jose Olivares. Migration is derived from the word migrate, which is a verb defined by Merriam-Webster as to move from one country, place, or locality to another. Plot twist: migration never ends. My parents moved from Jalisco, Mexico to Chicago in 1987. They were dislocated from Mexico by capitalism, and they arrived in Chicago just in time to be dislocated by capitalism. Question: is migration possible if there is no other land to arrive in? My work: to imagine. My family started migrating in 1987, and they never stopped. I was born mid-migration. I've made my home in that motion. Let me try again. I tried to become American, but America is toxic. I tried to become Mexican, but Mexico is toxic. My work: to do more than reproduce the toxic stories I inherited and learned. In other words, just because it is art doesn't mean it is inherently non-violent. My work: to write poems that make my people feel safe, seen, or otherwise loved. My work: to make my enemies feel afraid, angry, or otherwise ignored. My people. My enemies? Capitalism. Susan Sontag: victims are interested in the representation of their own sufferings. Remix: survivors are interested in the representation of their own survival. My work? Survival. Question: why poems? Answer:
Representing Clark County, Marianne Ocampo.
My name is Marianne Ocampo, and I'm representing Clark County. Well, I was going through a lot of pieces, and while I was picking them, I tried finding one that I understood, because a lot of times during poetry, I have a hard time understanding. So I made sure that I could understand what the poet was trying to say. I'm a bit scared, I will say that.
Don't Bother the Earth Spirit by Joy Harjo. Don't bother the Earth Spirit who lives here. She's working on a story. It is the oldest story in the world, and it is delicate, changing. If she sees you watching, she will invite you in for coffee, give you warm bread, and you'll be obligated to stay and listen. But this is no ordinary story. You will have to endure earthquakes, lightning, the deaths of all those you love, the most blinding beauty. It's a story so compelling you may never want to leave. This is how she traps you.
See that stone finger over there? That is the only one who ever escaped. Thank you.
Representing Lyon County, Jocelyn Vasquez Madera.
I'm Jocelyn Vasquez, and I'm from Lyon County. Well, since I was little, my parents used to always sing me like poems, and I've always liked them. But I wasn't really expecting being here today, so I was kind of shocked. I'm excited. I'm not that nervous anymore now that I'm in here.
The Vacuum by Howard Nemerov. The house is so quiet now. The vacuum cleaner sulks in the corner closet, its bag, limp as a stopped lung, its mouth grinning into the floor. Maybe at my slovenly life, my dog-dead youth. I've lived this way long enough, but when my old woman died, her soul went into that vacuum cleaner, and I can't bear to see the bag swell like a belly eating the dust and the woolen mice and begin to howl. Because there's old filth everywhere. She used to crawl in the corner and under the stair. I know now how life is cheap as dirt, and still, the hungry, angry heart hangs on and howls, biting at air.
Back and ready for round two. Starting again with Story County, represented by Mariah Mavidi.
A Birthday by Christina Rossetti. My heart is like a singing bird whose nest is in a watered shoot. My heart is like an apple tree whose boughs are bent with thickest fruit. My heart is like a rainbow shell that paddles in a halcyon sea. My heart is gladder than all these because my love is come to me. Raise me a dais with silk and down, hang it with vair and purple dyes. Carve it in doves and pomegranates and peacocks with 100 eyes. Work it in gold and silver grapes, in leaves and silver fleur de lis. Because the birthday of my life is come, my love is come to me.
Representing Washoe County, Rayanne Hijazi.
The Paradox by Paul Laurence Dunbar. I am the mother of sorrows. I am the ender of grief. I am the bud and the blossom. I am the late falling leaf. I am thy priest and thy poet. I am thy serf and thy king. I cure the tears of the heartsick. When I come near, they shall sing. White are my hands as the snowdrop. Swart are my fingers as clay. Dark is my frown as the midnight. Fair is my brow as the day. Battle and war are my minions, doing my will as divine. I am the calmer of passions. Peace is a nursling of mine. Speak to me gently or curse me. Seek me or fly from my sight. I am thy fool in the morning. Thou art my slave in the night. down to the grave will I take thee out from the noise of the strife. Then shalt thou see me and know me, death then no longer, but life. Then shalt thou sing, am I coming? Kiss me with passionate breath, clasp me and smile to have thought me aught save the foeman of death. Come to me, brother, when weary. Come when thy lonely heart swells. I'll guide thy footsteps and lead thee down where the dream woman dwells.
Representing Carson City, Nasiah Perkins.
I Once Was a Child by Victoria Chang. I once was a child, am someone's child, not my mother's, not my father's. The boss gave us special treatment for something special. A lollipop or a sticker, glitter from the toy box. The better we did, the better the plastic prize made in China. One year, everyone got a spinning top. One year, everyone got a tap on their shoulders. One year, everyone was fired. Everyone fired except me. One year, my father lost his words. One year, my father lost his words to a stroke. A stroke of bad luck stuck. His words used to be so worldly. His words fired him. Let him go without notice. Can they do that? Can she do that? Yes, she can. In this land, she can. Once we sang songs around the piano. This land is your land. This land is my land. In this land, someone always owns the land. In this land, someone who owns the land, owns the buildings in the land, owns the people inside of the buildings. Unless an earthquake sucks the land in like a long noodle. Thank you.
Representing Elko County, Kiara Hernandez Duarte.
We Are of a Tribe by Alberto Rios. We plant seeds in the ground and dreams in the sky, hoping that someday the roots of one will meet the upstretched limbs of the other. It has not happened yet. We share the sky, all of us, the whole world together. We are a tribe of eyes that look upward, even as we stand on uncertain ground. The earth beneath us moves, quiet and wild, its boundaries shifting, its muscles wavering. The dream of sky is indifferent to all this, impervious to borders, fences, reservations. The sky is our common home, the place we all live. There, we are in the world together. The dream of sky requires no passport. Blue will not be fenced. Blue will not be a crime. Look up. Stay a while. Let your breathing slow. Know that you always have a home here.
Representing Clark County, Marianne Ocampo. Representing Lyon County, Jocelyn Vasquez Madera.
My Father Sings to My Embarrassment by Sandra M. Castillo. At Las Villas, a small Carol City bar with a makeshift stage, where he spends too much time drinking, pretending he can learn to play the guitar at 45, become a singer, a musician who writes about qué difícil es to live in Spanish in Miami, a city yet to be translated. In a restaurant where he has taken us for Cuban food, where I sit, frozen, unable to make a sound, where mother smiles, all her teeth exposed, squeezes my hand, where May and Mitzi hide under the table, shielding them from shame, with a blood-red tablecloth, leaving my mother and me, pale-faced, trapped by the spotlight shining in our eyes, making it difficult for us to pretend we do not know the man in the white suit pointing to us.
We would now like to take a moment to acknowledge all 6 students and the work that they have been doing to get here to the state competition. They will each receive at the end of the competition today a goodies bag with several gift items from the Nevada Arts Council, including a handmade Poetry Out Loud tumbler by artist Joe Winters. I'd like now to call all 6 students to the stage for a group photo. Bravo. Bravo. We will again take a 10-minute break while the scores are being tallied, and when we get back, we will announce the top 3 students reciting in round 3. 10 minutes, y'all.
I was a bit nervous because I had stumbled on one of my lines, and so I was really nervous about that in particular, but afterwards my family reassured me that it wasn't that bad and hopefully it wouldn't mess with my score too much. And then second poem, I felt really good about it. I felt more relaxed because I had already done my first one.
Please take your seats. We are back. But now I would like to introduce Molly Rose Lewis, who would like to make some statements. Molly?
Hi, thank you so much. In addition to having the honor of being a judge here today, I am here on behalf of United States Senator Jackie Rosen, and I am here to make sure that each of our finalists today receive this congressional commendation. It's a certificate of special congressional recognition, and they will be in your packets for each of the finalists, and they will be presented to each of you in recognition of representing your county in the 2024 Nevada Poetry Out Loud State Finals. Thank you for your dedication to the written and performing arts. Congratulations from Senator Rosen and the United States Senate. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is so cool. Very cool. Okay. Ready to announce the top 3 students reciting in round 3. They are representing Carson City, Nasiah Perkins. Representing Elko County, Kiara Hernandez Duarte. And representing Washoe County, Rayanne Hijazi. We will now proceed with the last round of recitations, which will determine first, second, and third place. The first student up is Nasiah Perkins.
My poem is Thoughtless Cruelty by Charles Lamb. There! Robert, you have killed that fly. And should you 1,000 ages try the life you've taken to supply, you could not do it. You surely must have been devoid of thought and sense to have destroyed a thing which no way you'd annoyed. You'll one day rue it. 'Twas but a fly, perhaps you'll say, that's born in April, dies in May. But just one thing to learn to display, his wings 1 minute, and in the next is vanished quite. A bird devours it in his flight, or come a cold blast in the night. There's no breath in it. A bird but seeks his proper food, and Providence, whose power endued that fly with life, when it thinks good, may justly take it. But you have no excuses for a life by nature made so shortless. Reason is that you, for sport, should shorter make it. A fly. A little thing you rate, but Robert, do not estimate a creature's pain by small or great. The greatest beings can have but fibers, nerves, and flesh. And even less the smallest ones possess, although their frame and structure less escape our seeing. Thank you.
Next up, Kiara Hernandez Duarte.
Thoughtless Cruelty by Charles Lamb. There, Robert, you have killed that fly. And should you 1,000 ages try the life you've taken to supply, you could not do it. You surely must have been devoid of thought and sense to have destroyed a thing which no way you annoyed. You'll one day rue it. 'Twas but a fly, perhaps you'll say, that's born in April, dies in May, that does but just learn to display his wings 1 minute, and in the next is vanished quite. A bird devours it in his flight, or come a cold blast in the night. There's no breath in it. The bird but seeks his proper food, and Providence, whose power endued that fly with life, when it thinks good, may justly take it. But you have no excuses for it. A life by nature made so short, less reason is that you, for sport, should shorter make it? A fly, a little thing you rate. But Robert, do not estimate a creature's pain by small or great. The greatest being can have but fibers, nerves, and flesh, and these the smallest ones possess, although their frame and structure less escape our seeing.
Next up, Rayanne Hijazi.
Truth Serum by Naomi Shihab Nye. We made it from the ground-up corn in the old back pasture, pinched a scent of night jasmine billowing off the fence, popped it right in. That frog song wanting nothing but echo, we used that. Stirred it widely. Noticed the clouds while stirring. Called upon our ancient great aunts in their long, slow eyes of summer, dropped in their names. Added a mint leaf now and then to hearten the broth. Added a note of cheer and worry. Orange butterfly between the claps of thunder. Perfect. And once we had it, had smelled and tasted the fragrant syrup, placing the pan on a back burner for keeping, the sorrow lifted in small ways. We boiled down the lies in another pan till they disappeared. We washed that pan.
Okay, I'd like to invite all three finalists to the stage. So fabulous. So now it's time to announce our State of Nevada 2024 Poetry Out Loud winners. In third place, Nasiah Perkins. In second place, Kiara Hernandez Duarte. In first place and representing the state of Nevada at the national competition in Washington, D.C. is Rayanne Hijazi. Oh, so emotional. This does conclude our competition today, but I want to welcome all of our participants back to the stage. They were all fabulous, and we need to give them a round of applause and another group photo. Congratulations, all of you. Thank you all so much for coming out today. It means so much to all of us, particularly these participants who have worked so hard to get here. We will see you, I hope, again next year. Thank you very much.
I am very happy and very proud of Rianne. She did a very, very good job today, and it makes me very happy. And again, it's a good thing that she won, and she makes me very proud.
She's been working very hard on this for the last few months, and she did really good this time. So we're proud of her.
Good job, Rianne.
It's exciting because these young poets are getting the opportunity to do something that might change their entire trajectory of their life. Like Rianne Hijazi just showed that they've never been to Washington, D.C. before, and now they're going to go to a national competition. So the trajectory of her life is forever changed.
My experience today judging was just spectacular. It was amazing to see all these young people on stage with contemporary poetry, and everything was different. It was so difficult because everybody was really on point with everything that they were doing today.
In the backside of things, what it really is she gets the opportunity to meet a lot of heads of things and people who are doing this professionally, and that is the best education you can possibly get. So as far as an educational event, this is the best you can get, especially if you get the opportunity to win.
There's so many nuances to putting yourself out, getting up on a stage, the lights, the brightness, the capacity of the performance hall itself, the pressure of knowing your poem and reciting it well, and it's a lot on these students. And to see them just work through that and work through those nerves, it really shines this wonderful light on how the arts help us in our lives, in our everyday lives.